Everyone knows searching for a world that doesn't exist, but do you know searching for a gooner that doesn't exist? I bet you don't. So today, we're looking at every Minecraft ARG inspired by wifies video. And trust me, what we're about to see is something neither of us will believe exists. Starting with...
Whatever you do at the chimney, don't go down.
The story starts with Avery, who says he found a mine under an igloo in his normal world. But what's strange is he swears he never built this. Taking a look at the mine, there is a chest. And inside that chest is a book with a warning and a strange set of numbers. At first, we have no idea what these numbers could mean. So we're gonna come back to this later on. Taking a look at Avery's description, there is a link that leads to hidden footage that's unlisted. Watching the unlisted video, Avery returns to the mine with a full inventory and starts exploring like usual. Deep inside, he finds snow and a present inside the cave, which shouldn't be possible. As he keeps going, he discovers Christmas trees and more presents placed by someone, but all of them are empty. Avery eventually reaches a huge room filled with giant trees and gifts. On the other side is a dark tunnel. Instead of turning back, Avery goes in. At the end, a strange event occurs with campfires suddenly turning on by themselves. Avery says he is not scared, but something about this place feels wrong. He continues moving forward and enters a long maze of underwater tunnels. Then, without knowing the routes of the maze, Avery could possibly die from drowning. But luckily, he barely makes it back to the surface. Avery starts speculating that something is following him, even though the world is in single player. He blocks off the tunnel he came out of and explains that if something wants to reach him, it would have to load the area. He sets up a test by leaving a furnace running and lowering his render distance. If something loads the area, the furnace should finish, meaning something was following him and his hunch was correct. With the time being, he explores a candy cane forest and notices snow hidden like markers. After some time, he returns back to the furnace. The furnace looks the same, so no one should be here. But then he says, something is here. Because he did a second test. He had milk and cookies in his inventory, which he dropped are now gone. The missing milk and cookies make it feel like whatever entity is here chose them on purpose. Avery, now feeling a little more jolly, keeps moving and is led into a maze. Then finds a room with a cipher and he stands still for a long time, as if solving the cipher off camera. When he finishes, he reads an interesting message, but it doesn't matter since he has a pickaxe. For a split second, we see a new name appear, Durlord Christmas version. This means we were not following Avery, but instead someone else. Who would have known? Now following Durlord, he reaches an abandoned village that looks like broken gingerbread houses. While exploring each house, he finds a hidden message in one of them, warning that a saint is coming, that is already watching, and that Durlord should turn back and disconnect. The message cuts off suddenly like the writer was in a hurry, but Durlord doesn't care. Instead, he finds this hidden door behind some bookshelves. Instead of Durlord finding a crossroads and going left, he finds a tunnel that leads to a chimney and goes down, where he sees a bright yellow door. He looks inside for just 3 seconds, panics and runs. Through his terrifying sprint, later he ends up back in the same room where everything began. He grabs a book and writes the warning, whatever you do at the chimney, don't go down, linking the story back to the beginning. The numbers from the book at the start are finally explained and translated to, be good Avery. The video then ends horribly with a failed water bucket clutch. Now this video is found on wifies' second channel called Wifies, and if you didn't know by now, is a Christmas parody to searching for a world that doesn't exist. With this version, comparing it to the original, it is definitely less scary. It was more so a gag if anything. But what's interesting is instead of a king, it's a saint. Going back to the book Durlord finds in the gingerbread house, which I want to guess is Santa Claus? I mean, who else would have taken the milk and cookies at the trap? So instead of Durlord seeing the king in yellow or Act 2 behind the gold door, he probably just saw Santa Claus just munching on some cookies. But honestly, let me know what you think. Maybe I'm just overthinking. We begin with a chest that appears in a Minecraft world that Defective Nut says he never plays. Inside the chest is a book with a link to an unlisted YouTube video. The video is on the Defective Nut channel, even though this video was never uploaded by him, meaning something might have access to his YouTube account. To confirm this, we need to watch the video. Here we see a player running away from the chest, then seeing a badly built house in the distance. Whoever this is, he types that they are not allowed to talk for some reason. The video then ends suddenly with no goodbye from whoever this is. Then Defective Nut notices a strange community post from days earlier that says, "Who is this?" A post he did not write. This proves someone else has access to his YouTube channel. To try and communicate, Defective Nut, who we'll call by Nut for now on, records a new video in the same world. While walking towards the broken house, he sees a book that was not in the original video. Inside the house, footsteps are heard even though nobody is online. Plus, it's a single player world. He replies the same message in the unlisted video and gets a response. A single question mark appears in chat. Trying to find answers, Nut breaks a bunch of blocks and finds ladders leading to a strange underground world. Not knowing who built it, he stops exploring and checks the other unlisted videos instead. In the comments, he finds a hidden code that translates to, "I want to be real." This makes it seem like something in the world wants to become human. When he returns back to the world, he finds a giant number 8 made of diamonds. When he mines it, he hears footsteps and immediately runs. Trying to find out what's going on, Nut finds a book with a channel URL in it. And here we find another video. For the first time, a real name appears called Bob Stewart. Here we are shown a badly built house in real life, one that looks similar to the Minecraft world Nut was in, proving whatever this is not just inside the game. The entity sees Nut and another chase happens. From this point on, we're speculating that Bob Stewart might be this entity, until Nut finds a book signed by Bob that says "Please help." This makes it seem like Bob is a victim and not the one tormenting Nut. This is proven when we watch a hidden video showing Bob panicking and trying to destroy a house with TNT. Now going back to the real life burned house, it is hinting the name SCP-79, telling that someone who died may be connected to the entity. Here in this next video, we are in Bob's point of view. Bob, after doing some tasks, sees the entity, which we expect to be SCP-79. The video ends as Bob digs down to run away. But we should expect the worst. The entity most likely took out Bob and he's coming for Nut next. Going back to Nut's point of view, he later finds a structure made of bedrock. Using a resource pack, he sees signs inside it that shows the entity's plan. He also learns the entity can remove operator powers, meaning whatever this is has more control than the player. To finally bring a close to this, Nut enters a room that looks like a bedroom mixed with a library. He hides, but the entity finds him. We expect Nut to get game ended here, but it is finally revealed that when you call this thing an AI 3 times, it leaves the server. It is not destroyed, only forced to move to another Minecraft world. At the end, we find more lore about SCP-79. This AI learns a person's behavior and tries to replace them. And that's how basically this ARG ends. Until Defective Nut shows a final email he got with new footage that shows SCP-79 was never alone. We are told a tiny difference in name reveals that another being exists. SCP-79 was the one with 2 dots, while the new entity called Zero has 1 dot. And this whole time, the Zero entity was the one communicating with Nut. And we find out this person named Zero was the one pulling the strings. SCP-79 was simply a puppet. From the reveal, I wanted to learn more about SCP-79 in the actual lore, and to find out who this Zero guy is. In the actual SCP universe, which contains all these different monsters, specifically we're focusing on SCP-079, which started as an old simple AI program made in the 1980s. At first, it was weak and it could barely think, but over time it learned and adapted, rewriting its own code. Now it is kept locked inside a secure computer system because if it ever got full access to the internet, it could take over any system and manipulate people. SCP-079's goal is simply that he wants to escape the prison he's in. So using this, I came up with a small theory. One thing to note, this 0 is not just a normal number. It is shown as a 0 with a slash through it. In math, that symbol means empty or void. That could mean 0 is not really a person at all, but something that represents nothingness. So what does this 0 entity want? If we go back to the final step, step 5, we see his plan, which is WVZM-VMN. Using a Caesar shift with rot -8, it becomes Onrinev, which is likely a small typo for once new. The phrase feels important. It suggests that 0 wants to become new, or become something real. This is where SCP-79 is brought in. What we know is that SCP-79 is a child's mind trapped inside an AI. It told this in the book. If 0 is not physical, he might be using SCP-79 as a body. So 0 is basically the brain, while others are just bodies he can control. If 0 is truly empty and stuck inside the Minecraft world, his goal could be to escape it. He wants to stop being nothing. He wants to be real. That's why he manipulates people, guiding them, watching them, and possibly trying to take over their bodies so he can exist in the real world instead of being stuck in the game. Finally, going back to the email defective nut got, there is a cipher, and when we translate it, it says, "I'm coming." That means 0 is not finished. He is still moving forward with this plan, which means 0 is still out there, and the next victim is defective nut. This ARG starts with a player named Cash, who gets a strange email offering $4 an hour to be a server watchdog. So he takes the job, logging into the server and spawns into Outlook SMP. Looking at the Minecraft world, it is badly griefed. Blocks are destroyed and overall looks terrible, which explains why someone might need a server watchdog. Cash notices he is stuck in survival mode with no admin powers, which already feels wrong. Why would the person who hired him not just put him in creative? Not putting much thought into it, he finds a planning board that ends with someone writing on it. Cash is told not to interfere with the world, proving the world is for some reason corrupted or glitch. He shows he has no texture packs on, so the glitches are real. After he stops exploring, Cash builds a pillar to watch the town, but his PC lags the moment he raises his render distance. A goat horn suddenly plays even though nobody is online. Right after he is clocked out, we see a player named Username joining the server. When Cash logs back in, his pillar is gone and then dies. His items are missing and a warning tells him not to interfere. But Cash doesn't care, so he keeps exploring the server, where he finds a secret tunnel behind a bookshelf that connects the houses, giving us some lore that people were hiding and moving underground. While Cash continues to explore, he finds a book warning him not to trust him, hinting that there is someone we need to be worried about. When Cash returns to the planning board, the signs are gone. Someone has been active between the shifts. So he places his own sign and then does some tasks and then gets kicked out. Logging back in, a watchdog message changes his game mode to adventure, so he can no longer break or place blocks. Then someone replies to his sign asking who he is. So Cash writes back in a book and hides it in the secret shelf. The book vanishes. Then a sign returns with a reply saying his typing is strange. The other person says they do not trust him and tells Cash to stay away. Cash then finds another hidden book saying someone hears him. This him person is behind them and they feel watched. Cash, starting to get a little bit scared, finds and presses a button that opens a secret door. But his game crashes before he can go through. Cash rejoins the server and tells us about his friend who wanted to join, but realizes his friend cannot join the server because of a whitelist. This is crazy since a whitelist is a gamer tag needed to join the server, but Cash was already in that list. What's even more strange is he did not give his gamer tag to the people on that job offer. Realizing this and taking note of it, Cash goes back to the secret entrance with a ladder. There he finds another secret entrance. The door suddenly opens and Cash gets inside before it shuts. Inside, it reveals a massive hidden room filled with books about the server's past. Cash is later kicked from the server, and when he comes back, he is told a rule that resets his position every minute, forcing him to stop exploring. While reviewing the footage, he notices a chest appear while he was AFK, like someone approached when he was not watching. Next, through decoding messages and finding an unlisted YouTube video, here we learn about a person named Riley, who talks about a friend who knew something called the God Watcher. Now, the God Watcher is an old Minecraft urban legend said to be a spirit that chose to stay inside the game instead of moving on to the afterlife. The story says if a player says its name 3 times and places a poppy each time doing a sort of ritual, the God Watcher will enter their world. Once this happens, the entity becomes tied to that player, not just the world, and will follow them wherever they go, tormenting them. When Cash returns back to the server, the world changes and he finds a house. In that house, he finds a bunch of signs behind a painting that talks about being left out and not appearing in the player list in the server of players. For some reason, the people are ignoring this person. Cash then hears a door open even though nothing has moved. Then he is clocked out again. To figure out what's going on, Cash starts talking with this person in a document which we later find out as Riley, the same person from that voice recording. They both talk about an old server and the God Watcher. Cash asks if he could go to this old server that the God Watcher was in. Riley says sure, so Cash logs into that older server, and when we take a look at it, is even more corrupted. A warning tells him not to let them reach him. A segment where it's similar to Five Nights at Freddy's, with the doors and stuff. Not gonna lie, cool reference. Cash's Minecraft skin is literally Bonnie. But then, after this scene, Riley says neither of them should be whitelisted, meaning neither of them can join the server. Yet Cash still gets in. Cash finds a room with 3 poppies set like a ritual, and Riley panics and begs him to leave. Cash is doing the ritual to summon the God Watcher so the entity can latch onto him. After, we get a sort of time skip. Now we're on a new server. Riley and Cash finally meet in game, and Cash says he moved the God Watcher onto his account, then deleted it and got a new account. This is true since his name changes from Cashing Checks to Checks Cash. And he says the entity even paid for a new account, because remember, he was getting paid to watch the server. After explaining, Riley says something crazy. That would have worked, causing this glitch seen here to happen. After the video, both profile pictures of Cash's channel and Riley's channel changed to the same disturbing image, implying the God Watcher finally claimed them. Yeah, like what is this? Okay, so honestly, I was kind of confused on how this story went, but it all makes sense now. At first, Cash thinks he was just hired to watch a server. Later on, Riley talks about a friend who summoned the God Watcher. This friend became invisible to everyone, ignored by players, and was trapped in a loop. We know this is true because in the hidden house, the signs talk about someone who was left out and could not be seen by the other players. So Cash believes that if he performs the ritual himself on the old server, the God Watcher will attach to him instead of Riley's friend. Then, by deleting his account and making a new one, shown by the name change at the end, he thinks the God Watcher will be erased with the old account. And the plan actually makes sense. If Cash was an outsider, it might have worked. But the twist is that Cash was never an outsider. He was the friend Riley was talking about the whole time. The God Watcher was the one who made the job posting. And lastly, Cash was the guy getting ignored by his friends due to the God Watcher. The fact that he was already whitelisted on both servers proves he was always a part of it. The entity even pretends to be Riley near the end, saying the plan would have worked, because in any other case, it would have. But it fails because the God Watcher is not attached to an account. It is attached to a person who summoned it. Deleting the account does nothing because the curse is tied to Cash himself, not his username. So in the end, Cash is still trapped. The loop never breaks. The plan failed. And now he is getting tormented forever. This ARG is about an island that doesn't exist. Our protagonist Kay starts the video by opening Minecraft on a cheap laptop she just bought. And she suddenly appears inside a house she does not remember building. She literally just got the laptop. She walks around slowly and looks confused because everything feels familiar and unfamiliar at the same time. In a chest, she finds a book that looks like it was placed there on purpose. When she opens it, the words inside say that she only remembers what she is allowed to remember, and that she keeps forgetting someone who wants to be remembered. Every page repeats the same message, and at the end it tells her, "You are me?" This makes the moment feel scary because it sounds like the book is talking directly to her and knows something about her that she does not know herself. But Kay never explains the book again and simply walks out of the house, leaving the mystery hanging with no answer, like her memory was just wiped. Then we find out the world name secretly leads to another hidden video where Kay walks out of the same house and follows a dirt path. The path seems like it's guiding her somewhere. And even more strange, the trees look weird and the land feels wrong. Water for some reason is frozen in the air, which shouldn't be possible. We then go down a long tunnel made of only one block that stretches forward, showing that this place is not normal. A sign tells the player to turn back, but Kay keeps going anyway. But we find out that this isn't Kay, because of the different skin and the different name, which translates to Forgotten. With our new character, she then enters a maze tunnel and finds another sign that says "Don't forget me." When she looks around, she realizes someone is watching her, proving Kaylee is not alone and that something in this world is aware of her. And that's where this video ends, leaving in a cliffhanger. But then we get to learn more in another hidden channel that shows older videos of Kay playing Minecraft with a friend named Ray. At first, everything looks normal, like two friends playing Minecraft together. Then Kay suddenly stops appearing, but Ray continues to making videos alone, hoping that his friend will come back. To the point he builds an island for her and talks to her even though she is gone. A secret message later warns that something knows they are there. This changes the story completely because it shows that the world did not just glitch, it took something from them, their memories, specifically Kay's memories. The real ending is not about a monster or an entity. It is about losing who you are and being forgotten, while something else stays behind, watching and hoping you remember. This ARG was made by Mr. Turtle, where the video is heavily inspired by wifies. It's also a nice change from the constant entities we've been seeing with these ARGs. Since this is Mr. Turtle's first ARG, we can only wait for the next one called The Library of Babel. With this ARG, it honestly edged me so much, so there's not much to talk about, but I highly recommend checking out Mr. Turtle if you haven't already. This story was made by the YouTuber Flux. It begins with him getting a strange email from a man named Marcus, who says his brother John disappeared after playing Minecraft for 5 days in a row. Marcus sends 6 videos and 1 locked file. But something already feels off because the police report he includes never mentions the USB that supposedly held the game footage. The locked file we are given cannot be opened. So Flux starts by watching the 6 videos to find answers. At first it just looks like normal gameplay on an old laggy computer. John talks about a special mod his brother told him about that can give money and make the game run faster. When he installs it, the lag suddenly disappears, which should not be possible. A mod shouldn't be able to do that. And even more bizarre, once he installed the mod, John finds a book he never wrote appearing in his house. The book talks about something called the Sanctum program, and promises that if John plays for 5 days in a row, he will get a better computer. Which is interesting because remember, John was declared missing after playing Minecraft for 5 days in a row. Then the book shows coordinates. Then John is kicked from his own world, like the game has a mind of its own. In the second video, John goes to the coordinates in the book and finds an underground forest sealed inside a massive box. with trees that do not exist in normal Minecraft. But we also notice when he falls onto the water, a second splash is heard, like something else is going with him. Not noticing it, John keeps exploring and finds a chest full of loot, then gets kicked again, which is strange, but we still don't have much information to go off on. We're still asking what led to John disappearing. Well, we'll find out more in the third video. Here, John appears in a huge underground neighborhood where the same house is copied over and over. He reaches a crossroad, stops, and goes left. As he walks, the lights behind him shut off, forcing him towards one specific house. He goes inside this house and finds a perfect copy of his real-life bedroom, meaning the game somehow knows where he sleeps and what his room looks like. After finding this out, John is kicked again. Next, in the fourth video, John is inside a place that looks like endless pool rooms. While he is there, his mom calls him in real life. All of a sudden, text appears telling him to drop his phone. This means the mod he installed can hear what is happening. It is watching him beyond the game. John's computer then crashes. In the fifth video, John is sent to the very bottom of the world and is told to build a shed. When he finishes, a chest appears with cake and a book telling him to go to the real forest in Vermont to get his reward, which is supposed to be his new PC. But his game starts lagging so badly that he can barely move. So with that, John just stops playing, stands up, leaves his room, and the recording ends as the door slams. The last video shows John in real life recording on his phone, then running after hearing a sound. The location he was told to go to is the same place where police later found his things. By watching all 6 videos, a hidden password across each one is solved, opening the locked file from the beginning. Inside of it is a confession. The voice reveals it was Marcus all along, the one who sent the email at the start. Marcus made the mod, built the world, and controlled John the entire time. Why did he do this? Well, he did it out of jealousy that started in both their childhoods, over something as small as a slice of pizza. He wanted power over his brother and wanted the world to see it. He also says John was only the first. The video ends with Flux realizing the truth too late and Marcus is already gone. Okay, so from watching this ARG, it has a very different twist compared to the other ones. Instead of having an entity trying to control someone, it goes to real life with Marcus being the villain this whole time, doing all of it for a slice of pizza. Crazy. Marcus planned everything out from the start by sending the email, making the mod, and then had Flux the YouTuber do the mystery to show off everyone what he did, taking out his brother John, using the PC to essentially control him. This angle I honestly really like. It is similar to an organization that's frequently in Minecraft ARGs called Archive. Archive is this company that uses games to control people, going from game to real life, which is similar to how this one went. I feel what could have been better is if Marcus had a better motive, like all of this for a slice of pizza, making the journey to the twist not pay off as well. But Flux did a good job not sticking to the common Minecraft ARG entity trope, and by switching it up, it was peak. A channel called Static 3D shows videos of him playing alone in a single player world, when all of a sudden he sees a house in the distance that he knows he never built. At first the house looks normal, but the closer Static got, the more he notices someone else has already lived here. He explains he is using an old version of Minecraft that he found at a yard sale, which can kind of explain why this house is here even though he never built it. When he explores the house, he finds a farm and a scarecrow and even a tamed cat. It seems like a real player once stayed and then left, never coming back. Inside, he sees broken doors and furnaces that are burning. When he looks inside, there's nothing inside of the furnace. Strange. Then, in the bedroom, there are 2 beds, which gives the theory that not 1 but 2 people lived in this house. Next, Static breaks through a blocked wall and then uncovers a deep shaft going down. Then suddenly he falls into a black void and dies. When he respawns, he wakes up in a strange place called Nexus, with no idea how he got here. Static stops using chat because he feels like something might be watching him. Next, he finds a chest with a book written by someone who was here before, and was afraid to go deeper in this weird area. After some time exploring, something very unexpected happens. Static comes across another player named Scarlet. She tells Static, "You're not real," which makes him question if he even exists. They start talking, and Scarlet says she has been trapped here for months or maybe years and cannot leave. Scarlet is a bit weird. She talks to objects like they are her friends, showing how lonely she has been. She mentions a cat named Charlie, which possibly connects her to the strange house from the beginning, because there was a cat there. For a moment they become friends, so they explore together and then reach a cliff. Static jumps into the pit, and when he respawns, Scarlet is gone. He calls out to her, but she does not answer, possibly meaning Scarlet may not have even been real. Static then finds another door, but for some reason the place he came from disappears. After wandering around this new dimension, he finds a well and later finds Scarlet again. This reunion falls short when an entity appears and chases them to a house. Static notices that whatever came mainly attacks him, but never batted an eye on Scarlet, causing us to be a bit suspicious of her. But both can't catch a break. They then both enter another building where Scarlet finds her friend, which is a piece of coal. They go through the house. They explore the house. Then Static breaks a carpet and finds a secret room, thinking it might be an escape from whatever dimension they both came out of. But sadly, that wasn't the case. As a last-ditch effort, they enter a cave, and they notice their chat keeps getting erased, like something controls what can be said. But even weirder, Scarlet does not even understand what chat is, showing just how long she's been trapped here. Then dead flowers appear and Scarlet vanishes again. But she comes back, except she's acting a little different, causing Static to feel something is wrong. The cave begins to glitch with floating furnaces. Through walking this area, Static and Scarlet reach an iron door and enter a cave maze. Scarlet disappears again, and when Static finds her, he tests her with personal questions. Questions like her cat, and questions on how long she's been here. All of her answers are wrong, proving this is not the real Scarlet. It's an imposter. Without telling her, Static continues like normal, finding a book with Scarlet's true writing, confirming the one with him is a copy. He tricks the fake Scarlet into leaving and escapes. Static survives, but it does not feel like a real victory. He is still stuck in this weird dimension. In the next video, Alive, Static reaches several rooms, going inside different ones, leading to nowhere. Until with his persistence, he gets to this big empty room. After more walking, Static finds a book with disturbing text, saying the walls are alive. Static, not being phased at all, continues to move forward, hopefully escaping this dimension and finding the real Scarlet. Next, he reaches a library and finds another book, a previous person that had been stuck in this world, and mentions the mimics. Static takes the books and leaves. In his mind, he believes he will end up the same as this person in the book. And this person in the book is insane, which could be some foreshadowing that Static just lets himself go and goes insane in this dimension. We then see a chat message from Static, but we quickly realize it was not actually him that sent it, which means someone or something is pretending to be him also, just like the fake Scarlet, which could only mean one thing. If there's a fake Static, this might mean the real Static can find the real Scarlet also. And guess what? He later does. He finds Scarlet, the real one this time. They catch up on what has happened when they lost each other. Here we learn that she has also experienced a copy of Static, proving that the mimic is not just targeting one person. Then all of a sudden, a strange noise is heard. It's one of the entities again. So after some running, Static suddenly pushes Scarlet off an edge. Due to that, they reach an area that looks like a sewer. And Scarlet is clearly angry. She did not appreciate Static pushing her off a cliff. The series so far ends off with Static and Scarlet exploring the sewer. Hopefully this ARG finishes soon, but we can only speculate what happens next.
Whatever you do at the crossroads, don't get bricked.
In this ARG, we start with a person named Jenny. Here, Jenny encounters a book she didn't write, and she also did not even build the room where the book was found. But when Jenny first loaded the world, everything looked normal. We then find out that this world came from a phone found in a basement, and strangely enough, it already had the Jenny mod installed into the world, which personally, I don't know what that means. Reading the book, it keeps repeating the same warning about the crossroads and says strange things about something moaning, licking, and not being from this world. At the end of the book, there is a link, which makes it feel like the message is trying to lead Jenny outside the game. But the question is, to where? We try to open the link from the book, but it is locked behind age checks and a paywall. After this, it goes to Jenny exploring. She returns with tools and starts mining the walls of the room. When she breaks through, she finds a hidden tunnel that leads deeper underground. Jenny walks through this tunnel and sees things that do not look normal, including a tree that does not fit the environment. A word then appears on screen, King, which could be the name of something important connected to this place. The tunnel looks carefully made, not random, like someone designed it for Jenny. She goes in, but suddenly the path behind Jenny disappears, cutting off her way back and trapping her inside the tunnel. A chat message appears from a player named Durlord, showing that another presence might be watching or communicating from inside this strange area. He says, "I'm not scared of a game." But Jenny doesn't care and says this and continues moving. The tunnel then goes into a crossroads, forcing her to choose which way to go. Jenny turning left at the crossroads, and as she walks, the tunnel grows darker and barely any light is shown, until she finds a bright yellow door that stands out from everything around it. With no other way around and no way back, she goes to the door and steps inside, ending the video on a cliffhanger as she enters the unknown. Okay, wow, this was peak cinema. This was made by a YouTuber called Nyx, and honestly, I have no words. Be sure to check this guy out since he has a lot more videos just like this, and hopefully he continues on this ARG. But yeah guys, that's it for this video. If you like this video, you'll love this one. I'll see you there. Peace.